Good morning, everyone. This lecture is about Krashen's theory of language acquisition. Krashen's theories on language acquisition. There are 5 theories that he put forward. Number 1, acquisition or learning hypothesis. Number 2, natural order hypothesis. Number 3, monitor hypothesis. Number 4, input hypothesis. And last, effective filter hypothesis. Acquisition or learning hypothesis. Krashen hypothesis that humans have two systems to assist in learning a second language, the acquired system and the learned system. Acquisition. According to Krashen, both children and adults possess the ability to acquire a second language. In order to acquire in second language, meaningful communication in the second language is required. This system focuses in the act of communication rather than correctness of the language. In other words, during acquisition, the learner is unaware of the correct way to speak, or instead, they are only learning to communicate. The learner is subconsciously picking up the new language. Learning system. In the learning system, acquisition in a second language is a conscious process and a result of a formal instruction. Much like we all did in elementary school, it focuses in learning a grammar and following the rules of the target language. The learned system results in knowledge about the language, awareness of this knowledge, and the ability to communicate about the new knowledge. Krashen believes that the learned system is less effective than the acquired system, therefore, it is less important. The monitor hypothesis maintains that although most language is acquired, the language we have learned, along with those thematical rules, can help the speaker self-monitor this quiet language for accuracy. The natural order hypothesis maintained that grammatical structures, particularly morpheme, are applied in a predictable order. For instance, we learn she is walking before we learn she walked. The input hypothesis, now known as the comprehension hypothesis. This is Krashen's most important hypothesis because it discusses how language acquisition actually occurs. According to Krashen, we acquire language when we understand what we hear and read. This is known as comprehensible input. What is comprehensible input? I plus 1 when the student learns something new. Is explained by I plus 1, I equals a student current level of proficiency. 1 equals to the input is slightly above the I level. Once a student moves from I to 1 plus 1, they have attained comprehensible input, and this is done by using context skills. The effective filter hypothesis. An effective filter is a barrier that students faces that prevents the learner from acquiring a language. Regardless if there is enough input given to the student, student feelings and emotional states take on an important role when a learner is acquiring a second language. If the learner confidence or low motivation, this effective filter turns on and causes the learner to black out. All available inputs, in other words, The higher the effective filters, the lower the amount of opportunities the learner has for acquiring comprehensible input.